Hello, 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 Stampin' Friends. How are you guys doing tonight? This is Caron Bailey. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the craft room. Come on in and have a wild Wednesday with us here in the craft room. I'm Caron, your ATX Stampin' Lady, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 9 years. And I'm about to have a little fun with you guys tonight. For a Wild Wednesdays, what we try to do is kind of wing it a little bit, and we create based on whatever inspiration that I saw. I try to get you guys measurements, products, especially if I'm using. That way you can join me and join in on the fun with the creating. Tonight I am going to be working with a host of retired products. As always, when I'm trying something new for the first time, I try not to use my current products. I do tend to favor most of my retired products. So let me share with you the retired products that I am going to be using tonight to make this card, and I'll share with you. It is the Shining Christmas DSP, Designer Series paper. And I'm also going to be using, I think this one's still current, maybe. I'm not sure. Where's the label thing for it? So sometimes I am a DSP hoarder, you guys. I love it so much, and I really try not to use it, although I should be using. This is the Tartan Foil Designer Series paper. I have this out in case. I don't know that I'm going to be using it, but those are the Designer Series papers that we are going to be working with. And I'm also going to be working with some Cherry Cobbler. That's not retired, that is current. And the stamp set that I will be working with is a retired stamp set. It was fun when I had it. And you guys, if you see this green label right here, you know we haven't been using green for a couple of years, so you'll know exactly how old this is. And this is 126, so when I was doing inventory way back, this was the 126th stamp. I'm way past hundreds, you guys, just so you know, okay? So anyway, I'm be using the Merry Mice stamp set for this project. So while I was at work today, I was browsing, and I was like, what am I going to work on for the guys? And in one of my swap groups, there is a side tuck fun fold. And so I decided I would go ahead and create this fun fold on this video tonight. So I found this, the measurements that I have, I'm using from Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Kathy Ondas. So I wanted to make sure that I give her credit for using her her material. I don't know if she's the original designer of it or not. I do know that that is where I found the measurements that I will be using tonight. So give me just a minute. Let me go ahead and make sure I share a little bit to make sure that we've got some folks joining us. In the craft room, I sure could use a little company. This one should be fairly quick. It should be fairly quick to create this card. And again, when we do techniques or folds, the most important part of it, of course, is to get the fold, get the technique. And then we can worry about the secondary part of it is to complete the actual card. But the most important part is to get the fold done. All right, so what we're going to do now is I've shared with you the host code. So if any of the products, non-retired of course, that you see that we are using tonight, and you would like to shop in my online store, please don't hesitate to join. And let's see, somebody's commenting. Give me just a moment, you guys. I don't want to move from there. Hold on. Let's see what's going on in the world. So let's get started with this. And it's like I said, it's a very simple, a very simple fold. The side tuck fold card. All right, so here's what we're going to need besides the stamp set. Here's what we're going to need to create this card. And I tried as much as possible to prepare. I do try to prepare for you guys so that this will be a little bit smooth. So this is my little cheat sheet here. So we are going to need 2 colors of cardstock. I chose for us tonight some cherry cobbler and a piece of basic gray. Okay, the designer series paper I already shared with you. So let's go ahead and give you a little bit of the measurements. Okay, so our card base tonight is going to be 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. We're going to score that at the 3-inch mark. And yes, that is correct, 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. When I first saw it, I was like, no, that's not right. It is right. It's 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. The next piece that we're going to need is, we're going to need a piece that is 2 3/4 by 4. We're going to need a piece that's 2 5/8 by 4. We're going to need a matte layer, and we're going to need one piece that's going to be 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. We're going to need another piece that is, I think this is 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. We need some designer series paper, and of course I didn't write their measurements down, but we're going to need a piece of designer series paper that is 2 3/4 by 4. We're going to need a piece that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then we're also going to need another piece for that is 2 inches by 2 inches. I'm missing a piece. Yeah, so oh my gosh, where did it go? This is 2 1/8. I am missing a piece of cherry cobbler that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Let's just get that cut so we can get that out of the way and put our trimmer away for the rest of the evening. Okay, so this needs to be 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay. All right. So this, and this are going to be together, and then let's get started. So like I said, our card base is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. We cut that at, we scored it at 3 inches. So this is 5 1/2. And we had our 4 1/4. So you see how that came together? That's why I said yes, it is what the measurement is supposed to be. Alright, I like to multiple burnish on both sides, my folds. Make sure they stay where they're supposed to stay. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mat this side. Okay? So I'm going to take a piece of, we can do that. Oh, that's exactly what I am going to do. And I'm a liquid glue kind of girl, so I definitely use my liquid glue. Hey, that was one of our, that was our question of the day. Are you a liquid glue, or what is your favorite type of adhesive? For me in card making, my favorite adhesive is liquid glue. Okay. And we're going to attach this guy right here. Just as a tip, some people find that it's easier for them to layer when the fold is, when it's not folded. So if it's easier for you, just open that out and then go ahead and layer it the way it should be layered. Okay? So that's how that should be. Then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add our inside to this. All right. This will go here. And this is on the front flap. This is on the inside. Where's my other piece of basic white? I thought I had two pieces of basic white. Yep, there it is. So this is going to be for the inside too. And what is that? Hold on, y'all. I did something wrong. That way? Let's see. Yep. I didn't do anything wrong. I just had them layered on the wrong side. So for the outside, just to keep these out of the way, a basic white piece that's 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. This is going to be on the front of the card. This is going to be on the inside of the card. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to go design the inside of my card fairly quickly. I know, I always decide to do some sort of coloring or something when I'm doing these live videos, and of course, coloring is not a quick, it's not a quick thing to do. You know what I mean? Now these are pretty old, so I ended up having to put removable, repositionable tape on this. And I have to do that just to make sure that it sticks to the block. And as it sticks to the block, we can go ahead and stamp it without it falling off, or let's do that because it looks a little bit straighter that way. Okay. These are kind of small images, so I don't generally focus on like a lot of detailed coloring, highlighting, that kind of thing on smaller image. Okay, here we go with this. And then sentiment wise, we are going to stamp on the inside Merry Christmas. I know that I just thought when I first got this stamp, I thought it was adorable. It's still adorable. Okay. And then we're gonna grab our Merry Christmas. Alright, sorry you guys are hearing that. I have to remember to turn off my notifications when I'm going live. I forget all about them. I don't use this computer that's in my craft room. I don't really do a lot of work on it. It is in the craft room specifically for recording these videos and when I'm on Zoom with my craft tree friends. So Merry Christmas. And because we use VersaFine, I'm going to go ahead and heat set with clear embossing powder. You guys are watching my evolution here. I really do try to put things back as I use them, you know, so that my craft space, especially while I'm recording videos, is not as messy for you, to you, the viewer. I'm not always successful, but I do try. Alright, so let's get this heat set, and this is going to be finished in just a minute. Let's do a little quick coloring here. Actually, I might even just color with Stampin' Write markers. Those will probably be a lot faster. I don't use my Stampin' Write markers nearly enough. And what I'm trying to do here is to make sure that I bring in colors that's in the set. That looks like, it looks like a Mary Merlot, but I don't have my Mary Merlot markers out. So let's go with maybe what is this guy? Berry Burst. I don't see that in there anywhere. This is a little copper clay. I'm going to call that copper clay. So let's bring in some copper clay. Make that his pants. Okay, and then we'll make that his top. Sorry guys, you know I don't have the hardest time coloring and talking at the same time, so pardon me. One of them is going to be red. One of them is going to be green. trying to remember on the multicolor string of lights that I see sometimes. There's a green, a blue, I think there's an orange. I think. So we're just going to have a little orange light in here. And then that'll be red again. Okay. I'm just going to incorporate these same colors everywhere else in this drawing. Okay. Just as a tip, and this is a personal preference, of course, when I'm coloring, when there's more than one item or article or person, image, whatever it is that I'm coloring, what I generally will try to do is to somehow make sure that there are consistencies across each of the images. So like you can see, there's red here, there's red here, and there's red here. And they have points of, and there's a little red there, and then you have the green here and the green here. So I try to make sure that there's consistency across the images. Doesn't have to be everything, but some consistency across the images. And again, I'm not trying to go for perfection here as far as coloring is concerned. Awesome. Okay, so this guy is done. We can put these away. Let me make sure I put them back. And then we're going to mat this with this. How you doing, Sue? I haven't crafted with you, quote unquote, in a very long time. So we're working on the, what is it called? A side flap and lock card. And I got the measurements from Kathy Ondas, O-N-D-U-S, but there are several other demonstrators that have created projects using this fold. Hers is just the one that I got the measurements from, so I'm making sure that I give her credit for that. And then all we're going to do is going to line this up in here. Making good use of my grid lines. I hope. You guys already know that I don't, let me bring this down a little bit, I think. I don't line things up straight, but I do try to get them as straight as I possibly can. Okay. And we're going to put this on the inside. Now I chose to use the same side of the designer series paper. You guys, you can use the back and the front. You can use different designer series papers within the same pack. You can use, you can mix it up, mix up your designer series or your pattern papers. So you're not limited, okay? So again, this is going to be like this. And then what we're going to do is each of these, we're going to mat. So you can do this two ways. I am. So we can go ahead and mat each of these and then cut it all on the diagonal at one time. Or we can just go ahead and cut each piece individually. I'm going to cut them individually only because my belief is that as there's three layers right there, it might be a little bit difficult for the blade to pass through cleanly, and it might create some jagged edges. So I would tell you in this particular part of this is to cut them individually. Now when we're lining up and we're cutting on a diagonal, we just need to make sure that each of the points is in the track. But what I tip for you for tonight is never start your cutting from either end, because what will end up happening, or what could end up happening, and what happens to me all the time when I forget myself, is it will rip that paper. So I will make sure that it's in there, and then I start on and then cut in both directions to create my triangle. And we're just going to do that with each of the pieces. Okay. Oh, but I want this one to show the reverse side of this. Okay. I love fun folds, but I find I don't do them often enough. I'm one of those stampers that I love immediate gratification, and sometimes fun folds take a little bit of work. Sometimes. Not all the time. And then we're going to do the same thing here. I shifted that a little bit. I felt it. Alright. There we go. Make sure we move our blade where it needs to go. And then there we go. And then now all we're going to do is we're going to line this up. And again, we're going to use liquid adhesive in this section. But my understanding, and not just Kathy, but several of the other demonstrators, to include Lisa Curcio, who I also saw briefly, indicated that to make this, to adhere the lock piece, they highly recommend that we use tear and tape. So once we've got this part put together, we're going to grab our tear and tape. Okay. So did you see that you won a gift for being one of my shoppers for the month of July? I'm going to have to get you your get that packaged up and get that to you in the mail. So congratulations. Lots of things going on in the Stampin' Up! World right now. We are preparing to launch the September to December mini catalog. right now, today, or yesterday, sorry, demonstrators were able to, if you are a current demonstrator, an active demonstrator, you were able to pre-order products from the mini catalog. That's going to be available to customers in September, because the catalog is live September. So I just, I put everything that I want in my cart. I'm one of those shoppers that I put everything that I want in my cart, and then I go through and I said, okay, let's be mindful of a budget. Let's create a budget here. And then from there, I kind of just take things out. And I said, and I make a plan. I most certainly make a plan for how I'm going to make my purchases. Okay. We got to see the catalog digitally. And then from there, I started making a list. This is everything I want. How do you guys, oh, did not see that. Yeah. How do you guys plan for catalog shopping? What I tend to do is when we as demonstrators get our pre-look, our first look at the catalog, I go through and I'm like, okay, this is I have a want, a must have, a want, and a maybe. And then I ultimately have a because I don't automatically like everything. Nobody does. Right? And so I go through with that list and I said, okay. And then I will also go through, once I have that list, I will then decide on, okay, am I going to order this during pre-order period? Am I going to order it during, okay, so once we've got our little triangle here, this is our little lock mechanism. We're kind of just going to try to line it up, edge to edge, try to make sure it's even, or as even as possible as we can get. And if you notice, I only put adhesive on the edge, so be careful of where you put your adhesive. So I'm going to burnish that in just a little bit. Okay. And then the tip, I believe it was Lisa that gave, is kind of just stick your finger under there just a little bit and give it just a little bit of curl. All right, so the next thing we're going to work on, and we have another piece here that we can work with later, is we're going to work with the front portion of our card. Okay, so we can make it this way, which is what we're going to do. So then we can lock it in our side lock card. Okay, fold. Now this piece again is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. Gonna have our little mousy friend right here. And we're gonna have wishing you a festive season in here. Let's put him, let's put that here. Okay. So again, I am using retired products. Usually for me, like I mention all the time, is when I am creating something for the first time, I try very hard. Actually, it's not even a hard. I just don't use my newer Stampin' Up! Products. That is almost always an opportunity for me to utilize some of the products that I may have purchased, you know, in the last season that I either didn't get to use, but now I'm giving myself an opportunity to go ahead and use those products. So that's how I tend to use my retired products, but you can use yours however you choose to use yours. We're all individuals here, And we all have our own creative styles on how we choose to do things. Okay. Grab this. All right, guys, I hope you guys had the opportunity to vote. I posted in the group. This Sunday, as you know, is our Roll of the Die series. I am changing the format just a little bit for Roll of the Die. What's going to happen with Roll of the Die now is that I will actually roll the die on live on Sunday. I know, right? And then with that live, I will create with that with whatever the die is rolled. But what I've tried to do to make it a little bit more fun is up until until Sunday, I've posted a couple of this or that posts in that group in the event. That way you get a hand in helping me to create that card on Sunday. When we roll the die never tells us what stamp sets to use, so I give you guys a choice of this or that. What stamp set do you want me to use? So if you have the opportunity, go ahead and take a look. And if you have an opinion on either one, go ahead and drop me a comment and let me know. I'm also going to post one, so I got to do one today. And the this or that is, do you want me to color with watercolor pencils, or do you want me to color with Stampin' Blends? That one hasn't been posted yet, but it's coming. As there's so many possibilities with this fun fold. It's very simple. You can get it done really quickly. If you don't do a lot of, images that you have to color like I'm doing here, you can get this done a whole lot more efficiently. It's perfect for if you're trying to get a head start on maybe making batch birthday cards, batch Christmas cards, batch anything really, but you're wanting to have something not be a standard, just a plain A2 card. This is a quick fun fold that you can use in that event. All right, so let's get coloring, and we're going to need our greens. I swear that this green looks like a mossy meadow to me. So I'm going to do that. I'm only going to do the mossy meadow with the light, because it's generally a very dark color. Not sure what this is supposed to be. I don't think it's mistletoe, but oh, it's supposed to be the Christmas tree. Is it supposed to be a Charlie Brown Christmas tree? Oh my gosh. I love that show, Charlie Brown Christmas. Oh my goodness. Poor Charlie Brown. Oh, I know what I'm going to do for my star. I go to all these artist markers. I love my glitter markers, my glitter pens. I give my little twinkle in my stars. There's some reds in there. Let's get some reds in our baubles. There's also I also do use these as opportunities to play with some of my non-Stampin' Up! Products, you guys. Just to be very honest. Alright, so question of the day. That was a little pink. There's absolutely no pink in this at all. It's a little too pink for me. I'm going to see if we can right that situation. I've toned it down just a little bit. But we tone it down just a little bit more. There we go. Just a little bit more. Then I'm going to bring in a green. And another green. This green looks a little bit more turquoisey or aqua-ish. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a little pink in his cheek. And then lastly, to color the sweater. What color do I want his sweater? Alright, I'm just going to bring out my red. So I don't generally use my Stampin' Write markers. I don't, the brush nib, I find it's a little bit more challenging for me to control that nib than the nib on the Stampin' Blends. So unless I try not to use it for any kind of detail work, just because it just tends to flare a little bit. Alright, I think we've got it all now. And of course I can't help myself. Alright, so our main image is colored and ready for us to adhere it to the card. Guys, our card is pretty much done. So now we just need to make the side flap and lock and make sure that mechanism works. There's so many things that I see that we can use this with. Any of the landscape, the scenery papers we have, like the garden net. Oh, what did I just do? Oh my goodness. We can also use it with, in my opinion, with the what's that called? You know, the designer series paper that comes with in the different so what I'm doing now is just trying to assess how much I want this to be in the card or under the locking mechanism, I should say. So I pretty much should probably line it up with this. Yeah. So that is the key. if you have your inside piece, you want to make sure that you cover this so that this piece is going to be a surprise and you'll only see it once you've opened the card. Okay? So, this is one of the pieces that we need to make sure that we pay attention to, that we do not put adhesive on that side, because we do not want to seal our card shut. Okay. And again, I'm just going to line this up because I know that's what I want. And then I'm going to drop that in place, make sure it's even, and then press it down. Okay. And guys, we have created the side flap and lock card, because this little flap right here has locked it into place, and there we go. Now we can also do another piece of designer series paper. Where's the rest of it? Just thought about that. If you did not want that to be exposed, you can put another piece of designer series paper on the inside as well. I think I am going to do that. So I do know, let me go ahead and make sure I measure this properly. So this is going to be, this is 3 inches by 4 1/4, I believe. Yes. So this is 3 by 4 1/4. So I need this to be 1/8 of an inch smaller. Right? So this is 4 1/4. So this is already, oh, this is already where it needs to be. This is 4 1/8. And so this will be 2 7/8. And then we're just going to add that to the inside panel here, like so. Just a little minor adjustment. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to add my own recipe sheet, and by just the recipe I mean the measurements to include for the inside flap. And there you go. Guys, if you do decide to create the side tuck fun fold, go ahead and share it with me in this group, in this event. That way I can see what you create, and if you like, just let me know if you like this project, okay? Love it. I'm going to try to do Fun Fold Fridays. If there's any fun fold that you want me to try for you, just make sure you message me, DM me, put it in, just reach out to me and let me know, hey, think I want you to try this, and if you can, just share with me where you found it so that I have an opportunity to take a look at this. Otherwise, I'm just going to present you ones that I find and that I like. All right, so here we go. Our side tuck fun fold card. You guys, thanks for joining me and spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you enjoyed learning to create this card. I don't know if you can see it better now. To create this card, and I will post that information for you. This video will also be on YouTube, so if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like and share, comment. Interacting with me in either forum, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, helps to make sure that I get seen by more and more creative personnel. So I do appreciate you. Hey, Kathy, how are you? And Wendy, I'm seeing all these guys popping in now. It's just now I'm seeing them. So thanks for popping in, you guys. And if you do create with this fold, let me know. Post a picture, and I'll be more than happy to let you know my thoughts on that. Guys, have a great evening and happy stamping. Bye-bye.